Welcome back. Very glad to have you with us on BBC News. One main headline this hour. The heads of some of the world's biggest tech companies have appeared before Washington lawmakers to defend their firms against claims they abuse their power and caution competitors. All this as Congress considers tougher regulation. Let's go now live to Washington, D.C. We can speak to Sarah Miller. She's from the American Economic Liberties Project, an advocacy group. I know you campaign against monopolies. You'd like to see some very big companies broken up. There is pressure on these companies, isn't there, at the moment, but essentially from both ends of the political spectrum for different reasons.
That's right. I think that's a really unusual dynamic in American politics right now, but it's true. There is a bipartisan investigation into the power and dominance of big tech, Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Apple, happening in the U.S. Congress right now. And today's blockbuster hearing was nearing the end of the culmination of a years-long investigation.
And what did you make of the hearings today? Because the previous sessions, rather like this, have been a bit stymied by the fact that the people asking the questions didn't seem to have much of an online life, not much experience of social media, maybe didn't really understand how these companies work.
Right. Well, today's hearing was night and day from the hearing that we had a couple of years ago with Mark Zuckerberg, where it was clear that members of Congress had not done their homework and didn't really understand much about these corporations. Today could not have been more different. Most of the members of the subcommittee had really done their homework. This investigation, like I said, has been going on for more than a year. They've collected and gone through millions of documents and emails, and almost to a T, most of the members of this committee came with very specific questions for these CEOs about anti-competitive practices and abuse of dominance. And these are exactly the types of things that that these corporations really don't want to talk about. It gets to the heart of their business models and how they make their money. So I think today's hearing was a big success, and we're looking forward to the outcome of this investigation.
So, Sarah, listening to the answers that they managed to get, what were the headlines for you?
Sure. Well, I think all four of these corporations are very different, but what we saw for the first time was Congress standing up to some of the most powerful corporations on behalf of smaller businesses and everyday families. And what we saw here was Amazon called out for preferencing its own products against other small businesses that have to use its platform to get to market. Mark Zuckerberg called out for its anti-competitive acquisition of Instagram, which he admitted in email and admitted again in this hearing. We saw Google called out for its preferencing of its own products over other businesses and its roll-up of the advertising market. And and Apple also called out for its control of the App Store and its role as a gatekeeper between developers and consumers. So as you went down the line, really each of the abuses, and there are a number of them, of these corporations were called out and addressed in detail by members of Congress. And it was really quite remarkable, especially in the context of where Congress was only a few years ago.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much for the